Once you have your project file set up at 2 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 of an inch at 300 dpi and the file downloaded, you're going to go to File, Place, and that's going to allow you to add the picture onto our canvas that we downloaded. Now you'll notice that it has these resize handles, and if you look at the finished product, you will see that we have kind of cropped down into this canvas size a little bit. And so what we're going to do is try to match that as close as possible. So we're going to hold the Shift key so that we maintain the aspect ratio as we grab the handle, and we're going to drag this to take up about this much space, and we'll click in the middle to position it just right. Once it's how you want it, you're going to click the checkbox right here. The next step for us is to add some effects to this, which is going to create a second layer. You can see right here we already have 2 layers. So if I click right here, 1, 2, 3 icons over, we're going to create a black and white effect. You see that it created a copy of the effect that we were going for. And then we can click right here to just minimize that because the default settings are good enough for us. And then we're going to click this mask button right here. The mask button adds another area onto this layer that allows us to, with the black color and the paintbrush, draw to reveal the layer beneath. It's kind of like erasing it, except that if I switch the colors, like I did right here, I can bring that back. So it's not quite erasing it, it's masking it to reveal the layer beneath it. So you can see that as we're creating a layer of, or an area of transparency on this top layer, it's revealing this bottom layer below. So what you're going to do is not erase, but mask using the black color and the paintbrush the entire character right here, or the entire mascot, Tommy the Titan. Now if I press Alt and I move my zoom wheel, I can zoom in. If I press the space bar and left click, I can move my canvas around. The left bracket will make my brush size smaller, and the right bracket will make it larger. Shift bracket will change the hardness of the edge. So as I get right here towards the edge, I may not want to have such a harsh edge, so kind of feather and create a better effect there. So you can see right here I've skipped ahead and I've completed the rest of the picture here. So now what we're going to do is we are going to add a text layer. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have this layer selected so that when we add a text layer, it adds it on top of it. Because if I have this layer selected and then I click right here, the black and white effect is going to apply to this layer as well. So I'm going to undo what I did, or rather I'm going to cancel that text layer. Click right here, and I'm going to then click right here. Now my options for font are all up here in the options panel. This is our toolbar, this is the options panel, and I'm going to go with Myriad Pro Bold 38 point, and I'm going to write Titan right here. And I'm going to choose a color right here. I want a nice golden yellow in the spirit of Tommy the Titan. If it doesn't work right there, it's because that this wasn't selected. So I can highlight it, click right here, and then find that yellowish gold that I liked and position this about where I want it to be. You'll notice in the finished product we do this angle. We'll do that in a second. Back in Photoshop, let's create another text layer right here. We're going to write tech in capital letters, technology. Now obviously this is way too big for this page, but if I hit Control and T with this layer selected, it's going to allow me to resize it. I'm going to hold the Shift key because we want to keep the same aspect ratio for our letters. You don't want them to look funny. You can ignore this message. And we'll just kind of make it perfect right there. And we will commit the change by clicking this button. And then with our text tool again, we'll highlight the letters and change this to white. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to grab both of these layers by holding the Shift button. We can select more than one at a time. And what we will want to do is click right here I take that back. Rather, what we're going to do is click one of these layers, the Titan layer right here, and then we're under Effects. We're going to click the option that says Drop Shadow right here. It's going to pop up this dialog box. You can see that it adds this black drop shadow behind the letters, gives it a little bit of depth. The settings that we want, we can have this set to normal, our opacity set to 75, our angle at 120 degrees, our distance 5, our spread 0, and our size 5. Go ahead and click OK. You'll see that it adds the effect to this layer. Now what I can do is press Alt and then click on Effects and drag it up to Technology, and it's going to add the same exact effect to that other layer. So now I have this sort of double drop shadow looking thing, and now I'm going to press Shift, and I'm going to grab both of these layers, Titan and Technology, and press Control T. Notice if I don't hover my mouse above a point, but it's kind of to the side and outward over here, it gives me these curved arrows. That allows me to click and then rotate. So I'm going to click and rotate and try to match the line of this desk right here. Then drop this down a little bit and press Control Shift Alt on this corner, and I'm going to kind of skew the text like so, and press Enter, or press the check mark to commit that change. And I'm going to move this down right in here. Now we're almost done. If you look at our picture right here, the only thing that we have left is to add this gradient effect on either corner. So what we're going to do is press Control Shift and N, and it's going to ask us if we want to create a new layer. We'll say OK. That layer goes on top right here. Now if I grab my gradient tool right here, and from the options I want to choose the foreground color to transparent, which is the second option right here. Once I get what I want, I can press the escape key in order to close that options drop down out, and then I can click on set foreground color, and I'm going to choose a nice navy blue in honor of our blue and gold. Now what I can do is draw a small line like so, and it's going to go from our foreground color into a transparent. If I don't like it, I can press Control Z to undo. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to do the same thing down here in the other direction. That is about all I want to do. So now I can hit File, Save, and on my desktop I'm going to call this Titan Tech _tech. The initial file was _start. We're going to call this _working, and we're going to make sure we save it as a PSD file. Click Save. And next we're going to File, Save As, and we're going to change it from a PSD to a JPEG, JPEG, or JPG, JPEG, JPE, you can see right there, and change working to end, E-N-E. And then I'll explain to you how you can send it to me, and I'll print it so you can cut it up and put it in a protective sleeve. And that is that.